Hello, I'm Lynda Kinkade. We're getting reports of an air raid siren going off in Tel Aviv. The Israeli military says an incoming missile has been intercepted. I want to go live now to CNN's international diplomatic editor, Nick Robertson. Good to have you with us, Nick. So Israel has been bombing southern Lebanon for 2 days. Hezbollah firing back. The Iron Dome once again being tested.
Yeah, this is a very rare occurrence in Tel Aviv that the sirens should go off responding to an incoming missile from Lebanon, from Hezbollah. That's certainly the direction of the intercepts that we could see, or the intercept that we could see from here this morning. About an hour and a half ago, the sirens woke up the people of Tel Aviv and Netanya, a short way up the coast from here, northwards towards Lebanon. You could see the intercept in the sky. You could see that puff of white smoke where the intercept took place. There have been no reports of casualties or any damage on the ground. It does appear to be just a single missile that was fired. And as you say, this comes after 2 days now of multiple strikes. The IDF yesterday afternoon saying that they had dropped 2,000 different pieces of ordnance on 1,500 targets inside of Lebanon. There were about 250 missiles incoming from Hezbollah into Israel yesterday, but they were mostly targeting along the northern border of Israel and about 30 miles into Israel. They're sort of still very much the north of Israel. So this missile intercept today, it's not clear what it was aimed at specifically, but this intercept very close to Tel Aviv is a very rare occurrence, and certainly it appears to be an escalation in the targeting of by Hezbollah over the past couple of days. Hezbollah about a month ago had claimed to fire missiles, long-range missiles, at a military target just north of Tel Aviv. That was in response to a senior Hezbollah figure being killed in a targeted strike in Beirut. That was about a month ago. This, in this new phase, this new escalation of tensions and conflict between Israel and Hezbollah, this is the first that we're aware of a missile in this phase being intercepted close, it appears, on a trajectory towards Tel Aviv.
Wow, and of course those fears, Nick, of a wider war are really growing. Israel has said the aerial bombardment in Lebanon will intensify. What are you hearing about what's expected in the coming days?
The IDF is being asked multiple times about the possibility of a ground incursion by IDF literally going across the border. Until now, everything has been by airstrikes. We heard yesterday from the Chief of Army Staff saying that the military operations needed to continue at full force, that there should be no reprieve for Hezbollah, and that there would be an increase in the speed of operations. So that seems to indicate that this is far from over. And yesterday, the defense minister, Yoav Gallant, visited the front lines, well, the northern border, if you will, between Israel and Lebanon. And there he met with IDF troops who were going through simulation exercises for the potential of crossing the border, of troops going across the border. He told those troops that that the enemy that they would meet, that Hezbollah would not be the Hezbollah of a week ago, that their command and control had been damaged, that their morale was weak. But he said to the troops, make no mistake, they are out to attack Israel. But he said, you are the best trained troops, you're the best that we have, you've got a year's worth of combat experience. So the visual messaging there, clearly the defense minister on the northern border with troops apparently exercising for a cross-border incursion. That clearly signals that the IDF has, well, it clearly signals that there's the possibility available. It doesn't say that it's going to happen, but there certainly is a growing expectation that if Hezbollah doesn't pull its forces back from Israel's northern border, retreat them deeper into Lebanon, then this remains a possibility that there could be ground forces and not just airstrikes to try to force them to do that.
Wow. All right, Nick Robertson, we will speak again soon. Nick Robertson in Tel Aviv, thanks very much. Dr. Ghassan Abu Sitar is a British-Palestinian surgeon working at the American University of Beirut Medical Center. He joins me now from the Lebanese capital. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
So the Lebanese Health Ministry said these attacks from Israel have killed over 550 people, including 50 children, and almost 2,000 people have been injured. Can you describe for us what you're witnessing at the medical center? What sort of injuries are you treating?
So the first day, because of the number of people who were on the roads trying to escape the bombing in the south, we had difficulties evacuating the wounded from the hospitals in the southern part of the country. But late on yesterday and then early this morning, we started to get more and more of the critically wounded. We have received children with, unfortunately, the same pattern of injuries that I used to see in Gaza. Blast injuries to the face, amputations to the limbs, multiple shrapnel injuries, crushing injuries as a result of houses being demolished on top of them. So the pattern of injuries that similar to what I had seen in Gaza in October and November last year.
Wow, absolutely horrific. And these are, of course, all the physical injuries that you're seeing, but it doesn't even begin to assess the trauma that people are dealing with, right? Families have witnessed the pager and walkie-talkies exploding in grocery stores and now entire buildings being leveled. Talk to us about the mental health of those dealing with and fleeing this aerial bombardment.
So yesterday I received a 12-year-old girl with a blast injury to her face and really severe fractures to the bones of the face. And the mother had been trying to coordinate the other child who had been sent to another hospital in Beirut while she was with that girl that came to us. And so these families, their lives have been torn apart. They've had to flee their homes, and they have, again, like Gaza, people have been hit inside their homes, and so multiple members of the same family are usually injured. And it's just, for me, it's just seeing this unfold again in a similar way.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, earlier this year, we were reporting on how Lebanon's health system is crumbling amid this economic crisis, which of course led to the exodus of dozens of doctors and nurses and the closure of hospitals. How is Lebanon's health system coping right now, given these airstrikes?
So the last Tuesday's pager bullets left 3,000 wounded. And so that completely overwhelmed the bed capacity of the health system. And then we were trying to operate on these wounded and trying to discharge them as early as possible as the signs were coming in that there was going to be another war. And as you said, there was 4 years of severe economic collapse, which meant that a third of the doctors have emigrated. Around a third of the nurses have emigrated. A lot of the hospitals do not have the financial capability to replenish the consumables and the supplies and the medication that have been used up since Tuesday in operating on the wounded from the pager attack. And so all of this system is really very, very fragile. And this influx of 2,000 wounded in just 2 days is putting a lot of strain on the medical health system in Lebanon.
And what must be quite frightening is the fact that Israel is warning that these attacks will intensify. Talk to us about the medical supplies, the trauma kits. What sort of additional support might be needed if this drags on for many, many more days?
I think What we need is to have trauma teams, well supplied, well equipped, come in and join the health system. The health system also needs a replenishment of the supplies, the medication, the surgical supplies, the kind of consumables that you go through when you're treating these complex multiple wounds. And then the Ministry of Health needs financial support, because all of these hospitals, again, are completely dependent on electricity generators, which means that they're completely dependent on diesel fuel. And so the ministry needs to be able to replenish that diesel fuel and that supply to keep these hospitals running.